Shirts off. Haven't showered in 3 days. And I messed up a shelving unit I'd been trying to put together for most of the day. And I'm reading from paper. Let's do this. Some stupid fetus with a channel 30 times bigger than mine is dredging up a 7-plus-year-old issue with a video with over 32,000 views as of right now. So, I just want to state for the record, I stand by Blood in the Chocolate completely. Mind you, it's out of print. You can't buy it. Not from me, not from any official source. I've got no more stake in it. And I'm telling you, I stand by it completely. No hesitation, no reservation, no regret. It's something I'm 100% proud to have published. There ain't a goddamn thing wrong with that one. Moreover, I believe there should be no limits to fiction or creative thought. None. Whenever I have a project in front of me, by me or someone else, that deals with difficult things, there's always that little voice in the back of my head trying to warn me what people are going to think about it. Oh, you're going to get in trouble. Oh, people are going to complain. My life's work, not just in making games, I mean in life generally, is trying to silence that voice, or at least ignore it. It's just fear. It's not important. It's got nothing good to say to me. I mean, I want to play with everything. I want to experiment. I want to poke at taboos and puncture bubbles of consensus thought. And I want to not be pretentious. That's important too. And I don't understand how someone who aspires to do actual creative work would do otherwise. And with experimentation and poking at taboos, sometimes you end up in a place where you didn't want to be. And that's okay. It has to be okay, or else you can't really experiment. And it's not a real experiment anyway if you insist on being in control of the results. But Blood in the Chocolate isn't even an example of that. It was a complete and total success, creatively and commercially, and popularly, as the award it won was determined by a popular vote that we didn't do, so it's not like, not like it was just our fans voting on it. So, I declare, we'll continue to do things that you'll think are okay, and we'll do things that wind up being what you don't think are okay. And hopefully, if we're doing it right, we won't be thinking about which way it will turn out to be while we're actually making it. And that you is universal. All of you. Fan, detractor, whether you're watching this or not. So, yeah. If you want to avoid things you might like because they're sitting in the catalog next to things that you don't like, okay, you do you, whatever. If I was smart, I would end it there. But instead, I'm me. I just want to note that the last video I posted here on the channel was one of the most successful in this channel's history as far as gaining new subscribers. So I want to see if I can shed a bunch of subscribers with this next bit. That fetus video also tries to use that picture of me with Jordan Peterson as a piece of evidence that my shit ain't right. No, it's my new diet. That's why my shit ain't right, But since that picture thing is so important to bring up again, let's talk about it. I went in depth about this on this channel years ago, might have even been pre-pandemic, but hey, let's do it again in a bit shorter form because why not? That's what everyone wants to fucking hear. I went to 2 events featuring Peterson in 2018. One was in Dublin. It was this talk debate thing with Sam Harris, and I was on Team Harris on that one. Of course I'm going to side with an atheist versus the theist in debates like that. And then later that year in Helsinki, the event the picture was taken at, he was on tour for his book 12 Rules for Life. Now, there's nothing in that book I would think anyone would find objectionable, and his talk that night was on the subject of raising children. He was mirroring a lot of the ideas from The Coddling of the American Mind by Jonathan Haidt and Greg Lukianoff. You know, that book had recently come out, so I was familiar with a lot of the things Peterson was saying. And if there's anyone I consider a hero in today's political/cultural landscape, it is Lukianoff. I've run fundraisers and donated small sums myself to the organization he runs, FIRE, the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. Good luck getting me to renounce any of what I just said. Anyway, I enjoyed both events, and I briefly met Peterson both times. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it all over again. Shit. That week in Dublin was the absolute best week of my entire life. Not just because of the Peterson event, but it was part of it, yeah. And if you don't like that, fuck you. Now, Peterson's been much more expressly political and religious since coming back from his benzo illness, and he signed on with the Daily Wire, so he's part of a media machine now. So he's been less fun and less interesting to listen to, so I only listen to him rarely in recent times. But occasionally, yeah. I enjoyed his discussion with Richard Dawkins, moderated by Alex O'Connor, that was posted back in October, for instance, as well as his discussion with Stephen Hicks that was posted in November. If that makes me a bad guy, then okay. I'm a proud bad guy, and my shit is wrong. Whoop-de-fucking-do. As far as the thing that made people pissed at Peterson in the first place and made him famous, and let's never forget, if people just let him say what he thought without making any big deal about it, nobody would know who the fuck he even is today. It's an important point, I think. But he basically said that nobody should be compelled to say things they don't believe, and it was said in the context of trans pronouns. Now, I agree with the basic principle. If you don't believe it, you shouldn't have to say it. Just any topic in general. I mean, but does that principle and the principle of free speech in general give power to bad people? Yes. Yes, it does. The same as to anyone else. It's neutral. It doesn't weight towards good or bad, truth or lie. And that is how it should be, I think. Nobody should be able to install their vision of good or their view of the truth on everybody else. And when they try, it is right to rebel against it. And when that rebellion succeeds and there is a new power in place and they try to codify their beliefs, and press them onto everyone else, it's right to rebel against that too. In a free society, ideally, nobody should ever be in charge in that way. And practically, nobody should ever be in charge that way for long. There is no way of thinking, there's no set of rules that shouldn't be criticized, dissented against, or petitioned for change. Not your way of thinking, and not, as annoying as it is when people take me up on this, not my way of thinking either. So, once again, the lesson of all this is, if you expect me to agree with you, you're going to be disappointed sooner or later. Maybe constantly. Because I'm going to be cozy with someone you consider your enemy, or I'll have an idea that you think is awful. It'll happen, guaranteed. Why, just this month, I have been accused by someone of pandering to the misogynistic alt-right, and then someone else said I was creating an environment for libtard psychopaths. And I was told by yet another person that my edginess is fake because I am nice to the gays. These fucking people. I'm not on your side. And there are people of various sides that watch this channel and play the Lamentations game. As it should be. I don't consider the terms like liberal, progressive, conservative, or right-wing to be by themselves moral markers or indications of whether someone is friend or enemy. But I'm telling you though, I'm not on any of your sides. I'm on the side of the books and the work, and that's that. I had been trying to do like a Kermit the Frog impression for the That's That, but I couldn't make that work, so whatever. And you know what? That's not that. There's this whole other thing, about this that I've been going back and forth because I'm anticipating a lot of grief over it, but I don't want to deal with it, but to hell with it. I'm all out of fucks to give. For fuck's sake. Blood in the Chocolate is one of the most woke, yeah, I said the word, most woke books this industry has ever produced. The entire thing, top to bottom, showcases and is driven by the horrors of capitalism and colonialism. That's the whole engine of everything that happens in that adventure. You can't fucking miss it. And all the main characters, all the feature characters, try to find a man among them. Text or art. And the barely concealed fetish criticism is fucking rich coming from the people who are always fucking braying about sexual liberation. But because I like a guy more then than now that they consider the enemy, their brains turn to absolute diarrhea. And then even the author has to pretend to misunderstand his own fucking work just to, what, score points for his team? And now, keep in mind most of my customers and viewers of this channel are American. And now, they've got a felon in the White House with a right-hand man doing Nazi salutes because the majority of the electorate thought that they were more attractive than the complete fucking control freak mutants given as the alternative. Y'all are going to find out the consequences of branding free speech is just a right-wing thing now, aren't you, you stupid assholes? But let's fucking bitch at me and pretend a book of fiction I published that agrees with them is somehow problematic and harmful. Fuck these people. And fuck them double. Because now I gotta deal with retards chanting degenerate at me for the next however many years because I'm not gonna promote their brand of whatever they consider good old American traditionalism. Fuck you all. Jesus. So until next time, it's no longer officially available, so go find yourself a secondhand copy of Blood in the Chocolate and enjoy. Or not. Some things are still up to you. For now, there's always someone coming along thinking it shouldn't be, so good luck, everybody.